Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayana Namaskritya Naram Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nashtaprayesha Vadreshu Nityam Bharata Sevya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhakti Nestaki. So continuing with the discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 23, Devahuti's Lamentation, text number 55 onwards. Sango ya samste raheto ratatsu vihito adhiya saiva sadhushu krito nisangatvaya kalpate. Association for sense gratification is certainly the path of bondage. But the same type of association performed with the saintly person leads to the path of liberation, even if performed without knowledge. Srimad Devahuti is further speaking to Kardam Rishi that about the association. The association of a saintly person in any way bears the same result. For example, Lord Krishna met many kinds of living entities, and some treated him as an enemy, and some treated him as an agent for sense gratification. It is generally said that the gopis were attached to Krishna for sense gratification, and yet they became first-class devotees of the Lord. Kansa, Shishupal, Dantavakra, and other demons, however, were related to Krishna as enemies. But whether they associated with Krishna as enemies or for sense gratification out of fear or as pure devotees, they all got liberation. But obviously the level of liberation or the level of happiness they got was different. But regardless, they got associated with the Lord somehow or other, and they got liberated. That is the result of association with the Lord. Even if one does not understand who he is, the results have the same efficacy. Association with a great saintly person who also results in liberation, just as whether one goes towards fire knowingly or unknowingly, the fire will make one warm. Devhuti expressed her gratefulness, for although she wanted to associate with Kardamuni only for sense gratification, because he was spiritually great, she was sure to be liberated by his benediction. So she was grateful for the association she got of Kardamuni, although she lamented that she did not take that association up seriously, and she was still too much inclined towards sense gratification. But I believe it was Mother Devhuti's humility that she's saying that. And she served Kardamuni with full heart, with complete selflessly, and she only wanted Kardamuni to fulfill his duties that he took from Brahmaji. Nehi yat karma dharmaya na viragaya kalpate na tirthapada sevaya jivanapi mrito hisaha. Anyone whose work is not meant to elevate him to religious life, anyone whose ritualistic performances do not raise him to renunciation, and anyone situated in renunciation that does not lead him to devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead must be considered dead, although he is breathing. Wow. So anyone whose work is not meant to elevate him to religious life, anyone whose ritualistic performances do not raise him to renunciation, and anyone situated in renunciation that does not lead him to devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead must be considered dead, although he is breathing. Devhuti's statement is that since she was attached to living with her husband for sense gratification, which does not lead to liberation from material entanglement, her life was simply a waste of time. Any work one performs that does not lead to the state of religious life is useless activity. Everyone is by nature inclined to some sort of work, and when that work leads on to religious life, and religious life leads on to renunciation, and renunciation leads on to devotion service, one attains the perfection of work. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, any work that does not lead ultimately to the standard of devotion service is a cause of bondage in the material world. Yagyarthat karmano anantara loko yam karma bandhanam. Unless one is gradually elevated to the position of devotion service, beginning from his natural activity, he is to be considered a dead body. Work which does not lead one to the understanding of Krishna consciousness is considered useless. So there's so many different kinds of work going on in the whole world. How many people are really engaged in devotional service? So means everybody else is just creating another another life cycle of karma, another life cycle of birth, old age, disease, and death. That's all is happening. So this is any work that does not lead to the devotion service is useless. Actually, it is useless. So, but how many scriptures, how many faiths teach us this part of life, or this part of the goal that should be the goal of human life? Hardly any. That's why Srimad Bhagavatam is considered Amala Puran. Amala means there is no fault in this scripture, because it leads one directly to the path of devotion service. And that devotion service is the only thing that is glorified in this scripture. The rest, everything, whether we do karma, sakam karma, or this karma, that karma, jnana, or hat yoga, whatever we do, if it doesn't lead to bhakti, it is useless. Saham bhagavato nunam manchita mayaya dhrinam yatva vimuktitam prapya nama muksheya bandhanat. My Lord, surely I have been solidly cheated by the insurmountable illusory energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For in spite of having obtained your association, which gives liberation from material bondage, I did not seek such liberation. An intelligent man should utilize good opportunities. The first opportunity is a human form of life. And the second opportunity is to take birth in a suitable family where there is cultivation of spiritual knowledge. This is rarely obtained. The greatest opportunity is to have the association of a saintly person. Devhuti was conscious that she was born as a daughter of an emperor. She was sufficiently educated and cultured, and at last she got Kardamuni, a saintly person and a great yogi, as her husband. Still, if she did not get liberation from the entanglement of material energy, then certainly she would be cheated by the insurmountable illusory energy. So this illusory energy, Maya, as we know, Maya has two works: to cover a living entity and to throw him in the material world, keep him in the material world. So keeping in the material world, so one cannot remain in the material world unless and there be things, I'll be happy here. When one understands, he cannot remain happy in the material world, then he tries to find out what is the real place where I should go to get some happiness. Because the ultimate goal of soul is to find happiness, the real happiness. So Maya tricks living entities in such a way that they think only in this material world I'll find happiness. And if I do this thing, if I remain in my comfort zone, if I, whatever is going on in India right now, if I do this killing, I'll be happy. If I do this, I will be happy. If I do this kind of cheating, corruption, if I manipulate people like this, I'll be happy. If I cheat people out of their money, I'll be happy. Whatever. Actually, everybody is trying to be happy. But this is Maya. This is all illusion. First of all, we cannot remain in this body forever. First of all, that's for sure. So anything related to the body, when we try to make all the arrangements, thinking, I'll be happy, cannot be. But our whole life after life after life after life, we are trying to do that. To think, if I give comfort and pleasure to this body or the people related to this body, I will be happy. Cannot be. And in the process, we create so much of karma, then vikarma, and then next life we have to suffer. We cannot run away. Because in the court of Yamaraj, we cannot bribe anybody. And he is a Mahajan, he doesn't take any rishwat, any bribe, and his judgment is very clean. According to the scriptures, he judges people and gives them the punishment or the rewards, whatever they deserve. But whether we get the punishment or the reward, we come back and we again think, I'll be happy doing this, I'll be happy doing that. This is a vicious cycle, actually. Actually, the illusory material energy is cheating everyone. People do not know that what they are doing when they worship the material energy in the form of goddess Kali or Durga or for material boons. They ask, Mother, give me great riches, give me a good wife, give me fame, give me victory. But such devotees of the goddess Maya or Durga do not know that they are being cheated by that goddess. Material achievement is actually no achievement, because as soon as one is illusioned by the material gifts, he becomes more and more entangled. And there is no question of liberation. One should be intelligent enough to know how to utilize material assets for the purpose of spiritual realization. That is called karma yoga or jnana yoga. Whatever we have, we should use as service to the Supreme Person. It is advised in Bhagavad Gita, Swakarmana tam abhyarchya. One should try to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead by one's essence. There are many forms of service to the Supreme Lord, and anyone can render service unto Him according to the best of his ability. And this is what Mother Devhuti is lamenting, that I had the wonderful association of Kartam Muni for so many years, and I did not inquire about all this, which I should have. And now she has 9 daughters and he is about to leave. Now what to do? Mother Devhuti cannot leave the daughters because she wanted the progeny, and she is trying her best to keep Kartam Muni back in the house, so he gives her a son. Then she thinks he can leave. And actually she is not wrong either. She needs some support, some help. And let's see what Kartam Muni does now. So here ends the chapter 23rd. Now we'll start chapter 24. The renunciation of Kartam Muni. Text 1. Maitre Vacha Nirved Vadinim Evam Manor Duhitaram Muni Dyalu Shalinim Mahashucha Shukla Vyakritam Smaran. Recalling the words of Lord Vishnu, the merciful sage Kardam replied as follows to Swayambhuva Manu's praiseworthy daughter Devahuti, who was speaking words full of renunciation. Text 2. Rishiruvacha Makhido Rajaputri Thum Atmanam Pratinindate Bhagwaste Aksharo Garbham Madurat Samprapatsete. The sage said, "Do not be disappointed with yourself, O princess. You are actually praiseworthy. The infallible Supreme Personality of Godhead will shortly enter your womb as your son." Kardam Muni encouraged his wife not to be sorry, thinking herself unfortunate, because the Supreme Personality of Godhead, by his incarnation, was going to come from her body. Dhritvritasi bhadram te damen niyamena cha tapodravin danascha shraddhya chaishwaram bhaja. You have undertaken sacred vows. God will bless you. Hence, you should worship the Lord with great faith. Through sensory controlled religious observances, austerities, and gifts of your money in charity. In order to spiritually advance or to achieve the mercy of the Lord, one must be self-controlled in the following manner. He must be restrained in sense gratification and must follow the rules and regulations of religious principles. Without austerity and penance and without sacrificing one's riches, one cannot achieve the mercy of the Supreme Lord. Kardamuni advised his wife, you have to factually engage in devotional service with austerity and penance, following the religious principles and giving charity. Then the Supreme Lord will be pleased with you and he will come as your son. So, even in Bhagavad Gita it is said, even for people who are self-realized or very advanced, three things should never be given up. Tapa, Yagya, Dan and Tapa. Yagya, Dan, Tapa. So here Kardamuni is practically saying the same thing. So engage in devotional service with austerity and penance, following the religious principles and giving charity. So three things should continually go on. This actually purifies our consciousness. Satvayarithita shuklo vitan vanmamakam yashaha chetate hridaya granthim Odaryo Brahma Bhavana. The personality of God being worshipped by you will spread my name and fame. He will vanquish the knot of your heart by becoming your son and teaching knowledge of Brahman. When the Supreme Personality of Godhead comes to disseminate spiritual knowledge for the benefit of all people, he generally descends as the son of a devotee, being pleased by the devotee's devotion service. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is the father of everyone. No one therefore is his father, but by his inconceivable energy, he accepts some of the devotees as his parents and descendants. It is explained here that spiritual knowledge vanquishes the knot of the heart. Matter and spirit are knotted by false ego. This identification of oneself with matter, which is called Hridaya Granthi, exists for all conditioned souls and becomes more and more tightened when there is too much affection for sex life. The explanation was given by Lord Rishabh to his sons that this material world is an atmosphere of attraction between male and female. That attraction takes the shape of a knot in the heart, and by material affection it becomes still more tight. For people who hanker after material possessions, society, friendship, and love, this knot of affection becomes very strong. It's only by Brahma Bhavana, the instruction by which spiritual knowledge is enhanced, that the knot in the heart is cut to pieces. No material weapon is needed to cut this knot, but it requires bona fide spiritual instructions. Karda Muni instructed his wife Devhuti that the Lord would appear as a sun and disseminate spiritual knowledge to cut the knot of material identification. So, Hriday Granthi, so this knot in the heart means there's so many desires in our heart. And when they get entangled, twisted, again and again, so it ends up in a huge and very solid knot. Knot means it cannot unentangle on its own. It cannot free up on its own. And it's so strong that a person, conditioned soul, cannot get away from it either. So many desires, and completely entwined into each other. So especially the attraction, like Prabhupada is explaining, and Rishabdeva said to his sons that this story will come later on in Bhagavatam. Attraction between male and female. So that is the first knot. Because the attraction means we want to enjoy the material world and the material bodies of other partners. And then other desires of family, of house, of money, of name, of fame, and then the relatives, and then this and that. It just knot is becoming stronger and stronger. And how it is cut to pieces? By the spiritual instructions. By the spiritual instructions, that's why sadhu. What is sadhu? Sadhu means one who cuts. That's a literal grammatical meaning of a sadhu. If the sadhu does not cut, then he's not a sadhu. And he cuts what? He cuts our attraction or affection with the material world. He cuts that knot. And how does he cut? By his words, by his instructions. And that's why if we listen to Prabhupada's lectures, always say, you fools, you rascals. He's really taking a big shot at that knot. He's really, making us get up, think, feel that the knot is there. And it's very strong. And the knot is not only attraction between male and female. That is a physical attraction. What is that attraction actually is? I want to enjoy. Gross case is I want to enjoy opposite sex. Subtle case, subtle knot, which is even stronger, is I want to enjoy the power, the position, the respect, worship by others. And that knot is even stronger. We cannot see it. It's a subtle knot. You cannot see it. But it's even very strong. It's even stronger than the gross knot. So that is also cut to pieces. And if we don't let it go on our own, then Krishna will cut it to pieces. And when he cuts it, it hurts. It will hurt a lot, for sure. And that's what Maya does. Maya is Krishna's energy after all. What does Maya do? She knows what's our weakness, whether it's money, whether it's opposite sex, whether it's power, whether it's position, whether it's respect, we want that. She knows what's our weakness. And she exploits that. More we are weak, more she will exploit. And she will make sure we get so frustrated. It's all Krishna's energy, Krishna's order, especially for a devotee. For others, she takes care of it differently. For a devotee, she makes sure she frustrates us. I want respect, and I will not get the respect. Till I understand, I'm only a servant of Krishna. I'm only a servant of Srila Prabhupada. Until I act in that way. By acting in that way, I'll get plenty of respect. But understanding this respect is not due to anything that I possess. It's only because of mercy of Prabhupada, mercy of Krishna. Unless and until we come to this level, the knots will be there and they will keep on bothering us in the next life, in the next life, in the next life, in the next life. So you might be thinking, oh, this is like impossible thing to do. How am I going to get out? Well, first of all, living in the material world is not possible and not enjoyable either. So to get out of this place, we have to really work hard. Really work hard. And pray to Krishna, pray to Prabhupada, pray to Radharani, pray to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Please take away anything that is keeping me bound here in the material world. Especially these subtle knots, they're very difficult to work. Very, very difficult. Only hope in this darkness, the dark material world is the mercy of Prabhupada. That's the only hope we have. So we should pray to him regularly, take care of our sadhana bhakti very nicely, read Prabhupada books regularly, and whatever process Prabhupada has given, we should just try to follow. And slowly it will remove those knots. Sometimes they'll be removed easily, sometimes there will be difficulty, but process is there. So we are following the process, so sooner or later it will help. It will help. So we'll stop here. You all have any questions or comments?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Right. So, Prabhuji, before starting the class, you mentioned about how Americans they're so deliberate towards their work. They're so diligent, and a lot of things are there. Or when we talk about in India, हम निकम्मे बहुत देखते हैं. The reason being, there are a lot of things. Why I'm using these words is because, first of all, when मैंने जो realize किया कि in Hinduism we do not have a particular day to go to the temple. वहाँ पे अगर आप देखोगे चर्च में और मस्जिद में they go on a particular date, Friday or Sunday, and they assemble there and there are preachings that you do this, you don't do this. There are certain things. हमारे पास इतनी अच्छी चीज है भगवद गीता. We have everything there. We have temples and everything, but there is no particular routine. Like myself, अब जैसे मैं Saturday को जाता हूँ. Every Saturday I go to the temple. But कोई preach करे, कोई इस चीज के बारे में बताए, लोग जाते नहीं. That is a big problem. And if you see in the temple, मतलब आप कभी किसी एक फेस्टिवल में जाओ, एक शिवरात्रि हुई थी, people are like, it's like animal. They are एक दूसरे के ऊपर चढ़ के जल डाल रहे हैं. This is not the way we should deal with the things. और अमेरिका में जो चीज प्रभु जी आई है, मेरा ये मानना है कि हम जो बचपन से जो सीखते हैं ना अपने पेरेंट्स से, वही हम इनकलकेट करते हैं, वही चीजों को हम इम्बाइब करते हैं अपने अंदर और उन चीजों को करते हैं. एंड दैट इज व्हाट फीड इन बाय द these American people कि आपको कैसे करना है. ये पहले से सिखाई गई है, बीइंग इंडिपेंडेंट। हमारे तो आई थिंक हाई स्कूल या +2 तक पेरेंट्स ही जाते हैं हमारे साथ एग्जाम्स दिलाने। तो ये सारी चीजें हमें खुद में खामी है, इसलिए हम लोग वी आर डिफरेंट फ्रॉम देम। दिस इज माय पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू।
Many ways culture difference is there, and many ways Indian culture is good, many ways it's not. Here also they don't go to church every Sunday. I mean, there are many families that don't even go to church. Churches are empty, although they're beautiful churches, and I have to admit. And I have really, I mean, told my colleagues also, the beautiful churches. I really like it because how the way they have donated money to make a house for the Lord. But the problem is the churches are empty and the knowledge is not given out properly. But still the work ethics are very nice here. That's, I really appreciate that. Yeah, although now I'm in a government job, and in India, government jobs, we all know how they go. But here, they still work very nicely.
But Prabhuji, I have a question here. How does that come? ये तो it's within someone, a human being, whether he is in America or India. ये आया कहाँ से? यहाँ पे आप you go to SBI bank, you go to a government. अभी तो changes काफी हुए हैं. But if we see, they just simply they are reluctant, नहीं करेंगे. We won't do it. अगर वो 8 घंटे की ड्यूटी करते, 4 घंटे की, यार 4 घंटे चलो आराम करते हैं. गवर्नमेंट जॉब इज जस्ट सो इट्स अ लग्जरी फॉर पीपल. अरे गवर्नमेंट जॉब मिल गया बंदे को और दैट्स इट. मैं प्रभु जी यूपी में वाराणसी गया था, वहाँ पे आप सीन इलेक्ट्रिसिटी के डिपार्टमेंट के जो इंजीनियर्स हैं, दे हैव गॉट 3 स्टोरी बिल्डिंग्स. जूनियर इंजीनियर्स हैं, दे आर ब्राइब ले लेके ये देखते आ रहे हैं 20 ईयर्स से. एक मीटर लगा दिया, मीटर नहीं लग रहा है. पीपल आर गोइंग विजिटिंग ऑफिस सेवरल टाइम्स और 3000 दिया और मीटर लग गया घर में. ऐसा हुआ है. तो दिस वे दे आर अर्निंग मनी. ये सारी चीजें हैं, ढकोसलेबाजी हैं, जिसकी वजह से आई थिंक इट्स वी आर जस्ट लिसनिंग एंड वी आर. हम क्या कर सकते हैं? हम कुछ नहीं कर सकते, क्योंकि काफी 70 इयर्स और उससे भी ज्यादा शायद हम इसमें इस चीज में घुसे हुए हैं. और कास्टिज्म तो है ही, इट्स अ बिग प्रॉब्लम.
I know problems of बहुत सारी हैं. But this knowledge is the only saving grace. And thanks to Prabhupada, he has given this knowledge wonderfully, and people are following and will keep on following. So hopefully some changes will be there very soon.
प्रभु जी, हमारा ये जो भगवत गीता है ना, इफ दिस इटसेल्फ, अगर इसको ही रूटीन में हम ले आ देना, मतलब लॉट ऑफ पीपल माइट नॉट रीड. जैसे मैं रीड कर रहा हूँ, मैं समझ रहा हूँ क्या चीज इसकी ब्यूटी क्या है, तो व्हाट आर द इंग्रेडिएंट्स इन इट टू लीड अ पर्टिकुलर लाइफ, एक अच्छे तरीके से. तो कुछ भी जो 1% भी जो सीखा हूँ, बट अगर ये आ जाए ना ये चीज, इट्स अ बिग थिंग वी हैव ऑलरेडी इंडिया में.
But that's what the British didn't want us to have, the faith in Bhagavad Gita. And they succeeded. They were very successful. People are still running away from Bhagavad Gita. I mean, okay, now Prabhupada's mercy, people are getting to it, but still, when you go on the street, when you try to preach, people do run away. So it will take time. It will take time. Slowly it will happen. So it's just we have to keep on working hard, keep on pushing it. That's all.
विनय प्रभु जी, हरे कृष्णा.
थैंक यू
प्रभु जी.
हरे
कृष्णा. विनय प्रभु जी.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी.
विनय प्रभु जी, हम बदलेंगे, युग बदलेगा. सो प्लीज,
ये पुरानी डायलॉग है प्रभु, सॉरी अबाउट दैट. दिस इज अ वेरी ओल्ड डायलॉग प्रभु जी.
और भी लोगों को क्लास में ज्वाइन करें ताकि सारे भागवतम की मैसेज देखें.
जरूर.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna.
And Jai Jagannath.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
How was Jagannath Puri?
It's awesome. I'm still in Jagannath Puri, Prabhuji. And Jagannath Ji gave me a beautiful darshan. Thank you. Thanks to you and thanks to Rashmi Mataji. Rashmi Mataji's father came with us. And he personally was there with us for all our darshans. So it was really very beautiful. Thank you very much.
Yeah, please convey my pranams to Ganesh Baba.
Yes, Prabhuji. It was awesome. Means it. I felt like I was just hugging Jagannathji. It was like I was in. I cannot express you my feelings. I was so happy.
Mataji, how's the prasadam?
Beautiful. Oh my God. Very nice.
Really